when you are reading the Bible and it says you have been adopted into God's family through Jesus Christ.
You know that in the New Testament, when Paul says that we are adopted as sons and daughters, he's actually tapping into the Greco-Roman culture in that time. Let me explain. See, adoption wasn't used then like it is today. Adoption existed to carry family name, inherit wealth, and to carry responsibility. When Paul uses the language, you've been adopted, he's saying you are desired, you were specifically chosen, and you will not be cut off from God.
Christians don't understand how adoption works in the Bible. And as an adopted person, I feel like it's important for people to understand the very basic concepts of what Roman adoption actually looked like. And this is a topic you don't need to go to seminary for. You can just go on Wikipedia and learn more about Roman adoption than you can learn in decades of going to church. We hear pastors all the time talking about adoption as a means of caring for the widow and orphan, but adoption in the Bible looked nothing like this. Adoption was just a matter of inheritance. It was a matter of choosing who the male successor to the family would be. Whenever I see this stuff so publicly available, I have to ask myself whether pastors do their due diligence. Do they do any research, or what is their reason for not explaining adoption the way adoption actually was represented in the Bible? And how ironic is it that there are Christian women celebrating biblical adoption on TikTok, making these videos, when biblical adoption was a means of transferring succession power away from women to a male heir? There's a popular worship song from a few years ago that goes, "I am no longer a slave to fear, I am a child of God." And I think if you take the words "to fear" out of that song, it's actually a pretty charitable representation of what adoption looks like in the Bible. We're talking about a practice where formerly enslaved people would use adoption as a means of establishing their children as no longer the descendants of slaves, children who are now able to receive an inheritance. Whether you're Christian or not, I think this message is important because for the past few centuries, churches have been justifying colonization and poaching children out of other countries by pointing to adoption. When if they look inside their own book, adoption was never about this. It was about establishing a male heir.